was always going to make her think of James. James Martin stepped into the baggage claim area of the Kennedy Airport and heard the click of a shutter almost immediately. His jaw tightened, and he resisted the urge to roll his eyes, even though they were hidden behind his mirrored aviators. Striding out a little more quickly and tightening his grip on the strap of his leather duffel, he didn't look to the left or the right, keeping his eyes on the door as he walked. He heard another few clicks and saw light glint off the lens of the camera out of the corner of his eye. Slow day for Paps, I guess. He hadn't seen anybody more recognizable on the flight out from Los Angeles, so he guessed he was this poor bozo's consolation prize. Getty or one of the other photo wires might buy a picture or two of him on the strength of his new gig, he supposed. But it wasn't like his last 2 years in LA had been a roaring success. His career had started in television, then moved to theater, and then television had called again, luring him out to Hollywood. He had kept his career puttering along out there, but never seemed to get anything more sustained than a 3-episode guest spot on an established show. Even worse, the roles were almost inevitably black stereotype of one sort or another. Finding himself longing for something more stable and less insulting, he had started to fantasize about getting back on stage, about going back to New York. Fantasies turned to plans as the months went on, and the 1- and 2-episode guest roles trickled through, just enough to keep him going. And then, just as he was getting ready to kiss off television forever and try for Broadway, television went and handed him a supporting role in a new superhero series, a last-minute replacement for the original actor in the pilot. Best of all, it was shooting in New York. An all-expenses paid ticket out of Los Angeles? Yes, please, and thank you. He sold his car, sublet his apartment, had a crew pack his belongings into a truck, and practically sprinted for the airport. Los Angeles hadn't been terrible, but it had never felt like home the way cities on the East Coast did. And now he was back. He could almost taste the bodega coffee. Stepping up to the line for a taxi, he pulled his phone out of his pocket and rubbed the screen with his thumb, thinking. He hadn't talked to Freddie in months and wondered if she'd be thrilled or peeved at his sudden, unannounced arrival in New York. He also wondered if she was single. Michael Balducci's handshake was strong and sure as he welcomed Freddie into his tiny office in the Hatbox Theater in Tribeca. Thanks for meeting me on such short notice. Kath can't say enough good things about you. Says she wanted to keep you as her assistant stage manager forever, but I know she's too fair to hamper your career like that. Michael's warm smile made lines fan out from his deep-set brown eyes. And I value her opinion. I even tried to lure her away from Paul once to do a show with me. But that was shortly before they got engaged, so I suppose that was a vain hope. Freddie nodded. She had worked for Kath that summer. The summer of Susan. The summer of James. Kath was a great mentor to me, Freddie said. She taught me a lot. I don't doubt it. And you have that same calm, competent demeanor that she has. It's part of what makes me hope you'll consider taking this job. Freddie leaned back in her chair, trying to relax her tight, upright posture a little bit. She wasn't used to being offered things on a platter like this. Her gaze roamed over Michael's desk. 2 framed pictures had pride of place. One showed Michael and another man. Freddie supposed this was his husband, both suntanned and standing with their arms around each other and their backs to the ocean. The other was of a snaggle-toothed, shaggy little mutt who looked as if it existed in a permanent state of bafflement. What happened to your original stage manager? Freddie asked, her eyes flicking back to Michael's face. The production was halfway through rehearsals. Losing a stage manager at this point in rehearsals must be either a misfortune or carelessness? Michael asked, paraphrasing Oscar Wilde.